Hello, everyone. It's Miss Hannah again, and today we're going to talk about spelling, but we're going to talk about contractions with not. And this is Amy McGraw-Hill Winder's curriculum, and it's Unit 3, Week 1. You're going to need paper and pencil, and of course, that wonderful voice of yours. So we're working on contractions with not. And when you see the contraction with not when it's adding on to another word, you have an N apostrophe T. So let's move on so we can find out how cool it is when we add that not onto words. I like writing contractions. So what is a contraction? A contraction is a short form of two words. So an apostrophe takes the place of the missing letters. So when you are adding that apostrophe, you're going to take a letter, sometimes two, away in order to get those two short words to make one word with the apostrophe. That is called a contraction. So our first one we have here is plus not. So what they did is they took out that O, replaced it with an apostrophe, put the two words together, and we came up with our contraction of isn't. Let's see. I could say, if I put isn't in a sentence, I'll say, that isn't my pencil. Or I could say, that is not my pencil. I like using a contraction of isn't. The apostrophe, look at that really long word, the apostrophe, and that's what it looks like, in isn't stands for the letter O. So remember, it stands for a letter without that letter being there. So we're going to write the contraction for these two words. Okay, so we got 4 words that we are going to build. So let me get on to where I can write with you. All right. So we have our 4 practice words that we're going to do. So first one that we have is has plus not. Now, in order to do the apostrophe, we know the apostrophe stands for the O. So I like to cross the O out. Oh, I guess it didn't want me to write that there. I'm going to cross the O out so that I can replace it with an apostrophe. Then I'm going to put those 2 words together. Goodness, I'm doing a lot of extra writing on my paper today. It's okay. So I have my apostrophe up here. So my first word is going to stay the same. So I have has. I'm going to write has. And I'm going to write my N and not. Remember, I'm putting it into one word, so I'm going to make sure they're close together so it looks like one word. My O is now replaced with apostrophe, and my apostrophe is going to be on the top line. So if I have my 3 lines, I like to call my top line Tilly, my middle line Millie, and my bottom line is Billy bottom. So I'm going to write on Tilly top. And it looks like a comma on that top line. Then I'm going to write my T. So my new word is hasn't. All right, let's think of that word in a sentence. The sun hasn't risen yet. Okay, so the sun didn't rise yet. Next, we're going to have R plus not. And just like we said, my apostrophe stands for my O. So I'm going to cross out my O, put my apostrophe over there, and I'm going to write my 2 words into my 1 contraction. So my first word stays the same. We have R. Then I have my N in the word not. My apostrophe goes in the top line, and a T. How can I use my new contraction now is aren't. Aren't you coming over my house tomorrow? And it has a question mark and really cool. Next, we have the word was, the 2 words, was plus not. I'm going to cross out my O, put an apostrophe. Was plus not equals wasn't. So I have was. I have my N from my not. My apostrophe is taking the place of my O, and I have my T. My new word is wasn't. Wasn't. Put that in a sentence. That wasn't my ball we played with yesterday. Wasn't. Now I have can plus not. I'm going to cross out my O, replace it with an apostrophe, and I have can, which is my first word. In this case, it does not change. Now, this one's a little tricky because I do not want to have two of the same letter next to each other in my contraction. So I'm actually going to cross out that N too. After I do that, I'm still going to use only one apostrophe and I'm going to put a T. So my new contraction is can't. We all know that word. And I'll say, I'm sorry, I can't come out and play today. Can't. All right, so let's go back to our PowerPoint. Let's read our words again. We have hasn't, aren't, wasn't, and can't. All right, you guys are doing a really, really good job. So really quickly, we're going to go over read some contractions with the N apostrophe T, which stands for not. We have is not, which equals isn't. Pay attention that O is gone, it's replaced with apostrophe. We have not, which equals haven't. Do not, which equals don't. Did not equals didn't. And cannot, which equals can't. Remember, we had to take an N and an O out with cannot. So you need to rewind or pause, write these contractions down so you can practice them and get really, really good at them. But that's all for today, and I will see you soon.